They've lied to you about the real meaning of as above, so below. What you've heard barely scratches the surface, and the truth is far more profound than you've been told. This ancient phrase is not just a poetic saying or mystical riddle. It's a principle that holds the key to unlocking your potential and understanding reality itself. The universe operates on laws so precise and interconnected that what happens on a grand cosmic scale mirrors what happens within you. This idea has been obscured, dismissed, and misunderstood for centuries, yet it quietly underpins everything from the vast expanse of the stars above to the subtlest nuances of your emotional landscape. But why is this knowledge often relegated to the shadows? And what would happen if you understood how this principle truly governs your life? Today, we'll dive deep into the Hermetic teaching of as above, so below, and reveal the transformative power they don't want you to see. The phrase, as above, so below, as within, so without, originates from Hermetic philosophy, an ancient tradition of wisdom attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, the mythical figure revered as a master of alchemy, astrology, and spiritual insight. At first glance, it may seem like an esoteric concept reserved for scholars or mystics, but its implications are profoundly relevant to your everyday existence. This principle is a universal law, a foundational truth describing how everything in existence is interconnected and dynamically intertwined. What exists on one level of reality is reflected on every other level, from the movements of celestial bodies to the intricate patterns of thought within your mind. There is a constant mirroring effect that links the macrocosm, the universe, and the microcosm, the individual, creating a symphony of interconnectedness. This principle isn't just theoretical. You see it everywhere, whether or not you've consciously recognized it. Consider fractals, those infinitely repeating geometric patterns that look the same no matter how closely you zoom in or out. These mesmerizing shapes found in nature, from the branching of trees to the formation of coastlines, are visual proof of the as above, so below principle. The small reflects the large, and the patterns repeat themselves across different scales, demonstrating a fundamental unity. This isn't just poetic beauty, it's a fundamental aspect of the mathematical and natural world. It's a truth encoded into the very architecture of reality itself. Take a moment to think about how this principle applies to your own life. Your internal world, your thoughts, emotions, and deeply held beliefs acts as a blueprint for your external reality, shaping your experiences in profound ways. How often have you noticed that your mindset influences the opportunities and challenges that come your way? When you're filled with confidence and optimism, the world seems to open up, aligning with your goals and aspirations. When you're plagued by anxiety and self-doubt, everything feels like an insurmountable obstacle. This is no mere coincidence. It's the Hermetic principle in action, demonstrating the power of your internal state. The universe mirrors your internal state back to you, creating a powerful feedback loop between your mind and the reality you perceive. But here's the part they often downplay. This principle is far more than just a comforting idea. It's a potent key to unlocking your potential, the power to actively transform your life by consciously mastering your inner world. This isn't about passive acceptance, it's about active creation. And while we can discuss many facets of this principle here, some of the most profound insights and transformative practices are best shared in a more dedicated setting. For a deeper exploration of these powerful concepts, join our free newsletter, Insights Academy, where we delve into these empowering truths more fully and provide practical tools for implementation. Plus, you'll receive a complimentary digital edition of the Kybalion, a timeless Hermetic classic that has inspired seekers of wisdom for generations. The link is conveniently located in the description below. Don't miss this unique opportunity to expand your understanding. When you start to truly understand as above, so below, it becomes strikingly clear why so many ancient traditions emphasize the paramount importance of balance and harmony. Actively aligning your inner world with the natural laws of the universe isn't just a spiritually enriching practice. It's profoundly practical for navigating life with greater ease and effectiveness. Hermetic wisdom unveils the reality that spirit and matter are not separate, conflicting forces, but rather harmonious reflections of the same fundamental source. What happens within you doesn't remain confined to the internal realm. It radiates outward, powerfully influencing your relationships, the unfolding of opportunities, and even your overall physical health. The remarkable beauty of this principle lies in its inherent simplicity and accessibility. You don't need to embark on arduous journeys or retreat to remote locations to witness it in action. Instead, begin with the simple act of observing the patterns that manifest in your life. Pay close attention to how your emotions shape your decisions, how your core beliefs mold your reality, and how your daily habits collectively sculpt your future. When you wholeheartedly embrace this heightened awareness, you're no longer a passive recipient of life's events. You begin to grasp the immense power you possess, the remarkable ability to cultivate inner harmony and reflect it into the world that surrounds you. For centuries, the Hermetic principle of as above, so below was primarily regarded as esoteric wisdom passed down through secretive teachings, alchemical texts, and mystical practices. But what if this ancient idea isn't just a cornerstone of spiritual philosophy, but also a fundamental truth that modern science is now beginning to validate and explore with increasing interest? As our scientific understanding of the universe continues to deepen and expand, the line between mysticism and science grows increasingly blurred, and the resonant echoes of this profound Hermetic principle become increasingly undeniable and impossible to ignore. Take, for example, the captivating concept of fractals. These intricate and self-repeating patterns manifest endlessly at different scales and can be observed ubiquitously throughout nature and within complex mathematical models. They elegantly govern the structure of galaxies, the branching patterns of trees, and even the complex neural networks of your own brain. What you observe on a grand cosmic scale is mirrored flawlessly in the smallest, seemingly insignificant details of life. This is as above, so below. In vibrant action, a compelling reflection of how the universe operates through principles of self-similarity, interconnectedness, and underlying unity. Or consider the perplexing phenomenon of quantum entanglement, a mind-bending occurrence where particles separated by vast distances remain mysteriously connected, their states instantaneously mirroring each other with no apparent means of communication. This groundbreaking discovery in the realm of quantum physics defies conventional notions of locality, but aligns perfectly with the core Hermetic idea that all things are fundamentally interconnected at a deeper, unseen level. The microcosm and macrocosm are not distinct and separate entities. They are intricately woven threads within the same expansive universal fabric. What transpires in one part of this interconnected system invariably has an impact on the entirety, regardless of how spatially separated the components may appear to be. Even the burgeoning concept of the holographic universe posits that the entire cosmos may be encoded within every single fragment of existence. Just as a single, carefully illuminated piece of a hologram contains the complete image, each individual part of the universe may reflect the totality of its intricate structure. This captivating scientific theory aligns seamlessly with the ancient Hermetic teaching that the fundamental patterns of the universe are indelibly imprinted on every level of existence, from the largest to the smallest. The vastness of the cosmos and the intricate workings of your own mind, therefore, are merely different expressions of the very same underlying universal laws. These striking parallels between ancient wisdom and cutting-edge modern science are far from mere coincidences. They point to a more profound and fundamental truth, that the universe is, at its core, a unified and interconnected system, governed by underlying principles that we are only now beginning to fully comprehend and appreciate. Visionary mystics such as Hermes Trismegistus, Paracelsus, and even transformative religious figures like Jesus Christ spoke eloquently of this profound interconnectedness. The kingdom of heaven is within you, Jesus taught, echoing the Hermetic principle that the divine and the human are harmonious reflections of one another, inextricably linked. Carl Jung, the renowned and influential psychologist, delved into strikingly similar ideas in his groundbreaking work on synchronicity, the captivating concept of meaningful coincidences that reveal a deeper underlying connection between the human psyche and the objective material world. He profoundly believed that the human mind and the vast universe are not isolated entities but deeply intertwined, resonating with the same core principles of as above, so below. Jung's insightful work brilliantly bridges the gap between ancient Hermetic thought and modern psychology, demonstrating how universal truths continue to resonate powerfully across vast stretches of time and diverse intellectual disciplines. When you consciously begin to recognize these profound connections, the ancient principle of as above, so below transforms from a seemingly abstract mystical phrase into a vibrant and living reality permeating every aspect of your experience. It's no longer simply a relic of ancient philosophy to be pondered academically, but a guiding truth that illuminates the very nature of how the universe operates and how you interact with it. Understanding this profound principle doesn't just deepen your spiritual awareness, it fundamentally alters how you perceive and interact with the entire world around you. You begin to consciously notice the subtle and overt patterns that link your innermost thoughts to your external experiences, your internal world to the external one. This is where true personal power resides. By grasping the inherent unity of science, mysticism, and philosophy, you unlock a transformative new way of perceiving reality and consciously navigating its complexities. You realize, with a profound sense of certainty, that your life is not somehow separate from the grand tapestry of the universe, but rather a vital reflection of it. And when you deeply understand that everything is ultimately interconnected, you begin to see that every seemingly small change you make within yourself creates ripples that radiate outward, shaping not only your own life, but also the intricate world that surrounds you. One of the greatest and most pervasive misunderstandings about existence is the widespread perceived separation between spirit and matter. We're often conditioned to think of them as opposing forces, spirit as intangible and ethereal, and matter as concrete and mundane. But Hermetic philosophy unveils a far more profound and liberating truth. Spirit and matter are not fundamentally separate entities. Rather, they are two distinct expressions of the same underlying essence, reflections of the infinite energy that ceaselessly permeates the entire universe. This profound understanding is absolutely central to grasping the real and transformative meaning of as above, so below. Think of it in these terms. Energy and matter are inherently interchangeable. Einstein's famous and elegant equation E is mc unequivocally demonstrates that matter is simply condensed energy vibrating at a slower, more dense frequency. Hermetics, predating modern science by millennia, insightfully taught that everything in the observable physical world is a direct reflection of higher, unseen energetic forces. The distant stars in the heavens are not somehow isolated or disconnected from your individual life. They exert subtle yet powerful influences just as your own internal world profoundly affects your external reality. Spirit perpetually flows into matter, subtly shaping it and giving it form, and matter in turn subtly reflects the dynamic movements of spirit. You've likely experienced this profound connection without even consciously recognizing it. Consider moments of intense emotional experience. When you're gripped by anxiety, your body instinctively tenses, preparing for a perceived threat. When you're overcome with joy and exuberance, you feel lighter, almost as if you're radiating an inner glow. These tangible physical manifestations are irrefutable evidence of spirit and matter dynamically interacting in real time, each influencing the other in a constant feedback loop. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, which we often regard as abstract or intangible, have a remarkably direct and measurable impact on your physical body and your external world. Hermetic teachings go even further, suggesting that the entirety of your external world serves as a mirror reflecting your innermost state. What you consciously hold in your mind and heart actively shapes the reality that unfolds around you. This explains why two individuals can experience the very same external situation in remarkably different ways, filtered through their unique internal lenses. One might perceive opportunity where another sees only impending failure and insurmountable obstacles. The primary difference lies not in the external circumstance itself, but rather in the internal filter through which it is being consciously perceived. As above, so below, as within, so without provides the elegant explanation for this pervasive phenomenon. When you consciously align your inner world with clarity, intention, and unwavering purpose, your external world will inevitably begin to reflect that newfound sense of harmony and alignment. The field of science is progressively catching up with this ancient and profound wisdom. Studies on neuroplasticity, for example, consistently demonstrate that your brain physically changes its structure and function in direct response to your recurring thoughts, practiced habits, and focused attention. When you consciously focus on cultivating positive and empowering patterns of thought, you actively strengthen the specific neural pathways associated with those patterns, making them more likely to appear in your life and subtly influence your decisions. This is not some form of magic or wishful thinking. It's a direct manifestation of biology, rooted in the same fundamental universal laws that the Hermetics understood and articulated thousands of years ago. Your internal state, therefore, literally shapes your external reality in measurable and predictable ways. But this vital connection extends far beyond merely thoughts and emotions. It encompasses your practiced habits and the intentional shaping of your surrounding environment. Hermetics teaches that the physical world isn't just a passive reflector, it's a dynamic and active participant in the continuous dance of creation and manifestation. Your conscious actions, no matter how seemingly small or insignificant, are like ripples emanating from a pebble dropped into a still pond, spreading outward and subtly influencing the very fabric of reality. This explains why disciplined habits, consistent mindfulness practices, and heightened self-awareness are so undeniably crucial for actively shaping your reality. They're not merely self-improvement tools. They're powerful methods for consciously aligning yourself with the inherent harmony of the universe and harnessing its power. Consider sacred geometry as a potent example of this pervasive harmony in action. These elegant geometric patterns, which can be observed in everything from delicate snowflakes to the vast spiral arms of distant galaxies, reveal the underlying order that permeates all of creation. They are, in essence, the unique fingerprints of the divine, illustrating how spirit organizes matter into structures of incredible beauty, complexity, and intrinsic balance. When you consciously meditate on these evocative patterns or intentionally incorporate them into your daily life, you begin to resonate more profoundly with this underlying universal order, sensing its presence within you. You naturally feel more connected, more grounded, and more intuitively attuned to the natural rhythms of life. The Hermetic principle of the fundamental unity between spirit and matter invites you to consciously shift your perspective and see the world through a more enlightened lens. The challenges you face are no longer simply external obstacles to be avoided, but rather opportunities to realign your inner world with greater clarity and intention. Similarly, the moments of joy and fulfillment you experience are not merely random occurrences, but rather reflections of the inner harmony you have consciously cultivated within yourself. Understanding this dynamic interplay transforms your entire perspective on life. Life is no longer a series of disconnected events, but a flowing, interconnected experience where every single thought, feeling, and action contributes to a more cohesive and meaningful whole. Ultimately, recognizing and embracing the profound truth that spirit and matter are fundamentally one gives you the power to consciously shape your reality with greater intention and purpose. You're no longer merely at the mercy of external circumstances because you understand that true and lasting change invariably begins from within. This powerful realization is remarkably liberating. It represents the very essence of the timeless Hermetic teachings and serves as a direct invitation to consciously live in profound alignment with the resonant truth of as above, so below. The beauty of the Hermetic principle, as above, so below, is that it's not just an abstract idea to contemplate. It's a highly practical tool for profound personal transformation and intentional creation. By deeply understanding how your internal world directly reflects into your external reality, you can consciously begin to make deliberate changes that ripple outward, positively affecting every aspect of your life. The principle becomes a trusted guide, illuminating how even the seemingly smallest internal adjustments can reshape your external world in significant ways. One of the most accessible ways to apply this powerful principle is by consciously examining your habitual thought patterns. What you consistently think about creates the lens through which you perceive and experience the entirety of your life. Negative thought patterns, such as recurring self-doubt or persistent fear, don't just remain confined to your mind. They subtly manifest in your behaviors, shape your relationships, and limit the opportunities that come your way. Similarly, consciously cultivating positive and empowering thoughts begins to attract experiences that align with those uplifting thoughts. The Hermetic principle teaches that this isn't merely wishful thinking, it's the natural law of correspondence actively at work, shaping your reality. For example, if you've ever walked into a room carrying a strong emotion such as intense joy, simmering anger, or underlying anxiety, you've likely noticed how others respond to you and to the energy you bring. Your energetic signature, shaped by your internal state, invariably affects the atmosphere around you, influencing the behaviors of those present. When you consciously focus on cultivating inner calmness and radiating authentic gratitude, people consciously respond to you differently. They mirror the energy you project, creating a more positive dynamic. This simple yet profound awareness can transform your interactions, whether in your personal relationships or your professional endeavors. The very same principle dynamically applies to your core beliefs. Many of the perceived limitations you experience in your life are actually direct reflections of limiting beliefs that you unconsciously hold within. If you deeply believe that you are somehow not deserving of success or happiness, valuable opportunities may slip through your fingers, even when they are directly in front of you. Actively changing your internal narrative, replacing ingrained thoughts of "I can't" with empowering affirmations of "I can," and challenging the belief that "I'm not enough" with the truth that "I am enough," creates a tangible shift that reverberates outward into your lived experience. You begin to consciously notice doors opening where you once perceived insurmountable walls. However, as above, so below extends far beyond simply thoughts and beliefs. It also encompasses your practiced habits and conscious actions. Every seemingly small decision you consciously make has a larger, often unforeseen impact, much like how the smallest ripple can eventually create transformative waves on a vast ocean. Consider the powerful discipline of engaging in consistent daily rituals, such as mindful meditation, reflective journaling, or invigorating exercise. These seemingly simple practices might appear insignificant in isolation, but over time, they compound into massive and transformative change. Regular meditation, for instance, doesn't just calm your mind in the moment, it actively strengthens your ability to remain present, reduces chronic stress, and even rewires your brain to foster greater emotional resilience. Another highly practical application of this fundamental principle lies in consciously shaping your surrounding environment. Your immediate surroundings are not only a reflection of your internal state, but also subtly influence it in a continuous feedback loop. If your home or workspace is chronically cluttered and disorganized, it's likely to contribute to mental fog, overwhelm, and diminished productivity. Conversely, actively organizing and decluttering your physical environment creates a palpable sense of clarity, spaciousness, and inner peace that directly supports your internal world. This conscious alignment between the external and internal creates a positive feedback loop that fosters enhanced harmony, balance, and overall well-being. Maintaining optimal physical health is yet another crucial area where the empowering principle of "as above, so below" becomes strikingly evident. Your physical body serves as a mirror reflecting your thoughts, emotions, practiced habits, and overall lifestyle. Chronic stress, for example, often manifests physically as muscle tension, debilitating fatigue, or the insidious onset of illness. However, by consciously addressing the root cause of the imbalance, whether it's overthinking, unresolved emotional trauma, or an unhealthy lifestyle, you can begin to restore balance and reclaim your overall well-being. Integrating practices like gentle yoga, conscious breathwork exercises, and mindful eating actively aligns the physical with the spiritual, creating a holistic sense of vibrant well-being and inner peace. The principle also applies profoundly to how you consciously approach the inevitable challenges that arise in your life. Instead of viewing obstacles as solely external problems, Hermetics teaches you to introspect and look inward for understanding. What is this specific challenge actively reflecting about your current internal state? Is it subtly mirroring an underlying fear, a lingering insecurity, or perhaps a deep-seated resistance to personal growth and transformation? By consciously shifting your focus inward and addressing the root cause of the dis-ease, you often discover that the external obstacle begins to dissolve spontaneously or transform into an unexpected opportunity. This proactive approach not only resolves immediate problems more effectively, but also fosters significant personal growth, resilience, and expanded self-awareness. One of the most profound ways to actively live by this universal principle is to consciously align your intentions with the inherent harmony of the cosmos. When you consistently act from a place of authenticity, integrity, and heartfelt purpose, your actions naturally resonate more powerfully with the world around you. For example, when you pursue a personally meaningful goal not out of fear, ego-driven competition, or the need for external validation, but rather out of a genuine desire to learn, grow, and contribute to something larger than yourself, the universe seems to spontaneously conspire to actively support you on your journey. Synchronistic events appear, valuable opportunities organically align, and your life begins to flow forward with significantly less resistance. Ultimately, consciously applying as above, so below means actively becoming a conscious creator of your own reality and taking personal responsibility for your internal world, deeply understanding how it shapes every aspect of your external existence. You're no longer just a passive observer or a helpless victim of circumstance in your own life. You're an active participant, consciously capable of aligning your thoughts, emotions, and intentional actions with the fundamental universal laws that govern all of existence. Every small step you consciously take toward increased self-awareness, intentionality, and compassionate action has the inherent power to ripple outward, transforming not only your own life but also the lives of those around you, contributing to the betterment of the collective. The principle of as above, so below isn't just a philosophical idea to intellectually dissect. It's an invitation to consciously align your life with the inherent rhythms and patterns of the universe, fostering greater harmony and well-being. Harmony in the Hermetic sense is not a passive state of unchanging peace or quietude. Rather, it's an active, dynamic, and continuous balancing act between the spiritual and the material, the internal and the external, the seen and the unseen. To consciously live in alignment with this profound principle is to actively participate in the continuous dance of creation, recognizing that your every action, intention, and thought has the power to ripple outward into the vastness of the cosmos, subtly influencing the larger whole. But what does it actually mean to actively align with universal harmony in your daily life? At its core, it invariably begins with heightened self-awareness and conscious introspection. Many people unknowingly live their lives primarily reacting to the external world around them, oblivious to the potent fact that their external struggles and challenges often directly mirror unresolved internal conflicts and imbalances. Hermetic philosophy insightfully teaches that if you truly desire to transform your outer world, you must first consciously address the underlying imbalances within yourself. For instance, if you find yourself consistently overwhelmed by chaos and disorder in your life, it may well reflect unresolved disorganization within your own mind, buried emotional turbulence, or conflicting internal values. The crucial first step toward cultivating true harmony is, therefore, intentional introspection, asking yourself what your external experiences are trying to teach you about the true nature of your current internal state. Maintaining conscious balance is another indispensable aspect of consciously aligning with universal principles. The modern world frequently pulls us toward extremes: relentless overwork, persistent overstimulation, or an obsessive focus on material accumulation and external achievement. Hermetics gently reminds us that authentic fulfillment and lasting happiness spring from consciously balancing these external pursuits with dedicated inner growth and self-cultivation. For example, ambition in and of itself is not inherently detrimental. However, when it consumes you entirely at the expense of your physical health, your vital relationships, or your spiritual well-being, it invariably leads to imbalance, dissatisfaction, and disharmony. Similarly, consciously withdrawing entirely from the material world to exclusively focus on lofty spiritual pursuits can leave you disconnected, ungrounded, and ultimately ineffective in contributing meaningfully to the tangible world. Harmony, therefore, lies in consciously treading the middle path, honoring both your essential spiritual and material needs in balanced and sustainable measure. Actively engaging in practices that consciously foster alignment are essential for cultivating this delicate balance and connecting more deeply with the underlying harmony of the universe. Conscious mindfulness is one of the most powerful and readily accessible tools for actively tuning into the present moment and consciously reconnecting with the natural flow of life. When you're fully present and attentive, you're better able to calmly observe the patterns that arise in your thoughts and emotions without being swept away or consumed by them. This enhanced awareness allows you to make more deliberate and conscious choices instead of merely reacting impulsively. assisting you in actively aligning your actions with your true intentions and highest aspirations. Consistent meditation is another transformative practice that directly aligns you with universal harmony and inherent peace. By consciously quieting the incessant chatter of your mind, you actively create a space for deeper connection with the profound truths that reside within yourself, beyond the realm of conscious thought. Regular meditation also strengthens your connection to the underlying energy of the universe, allowing you to more easily tap into the subtle realms of intuition, profound insights, and creative inspiration that might otherwise be drowned out by the noise and distractions of modern life. Even dedicating just a few minutes each day to conscious meditation can assist you in cultivating inner peace, which will naturally radiate outward, influencing your relationships, your actions, and the very fabric of your life. Spending intentional time in nature is one of the most powerful and readily available teachers of intrinsic harmony and interconnectedness. Hermetics often points to the natural world as the clearest and most immediate expression of the universal laws actively at play. The cyclical patterns of the changing seasons, the dynamic growth of plants from seed to maturity, and the unceasing flow of rivers toward the vast ocean all beautifully illustrate the delicate balance between creation and destruction, expansion and contraction, growth and decay. Spending conscious time immersed in nature consciously helps you attune yourself to these fundamental rhythms, reminding you of your integral place within the greater web of life. Whether it's consciously walking through a lush forest, quietly sitting by the ocean's edge, or simply observing the vastness of the night sky, actively connecting with nature consciously grounds you in the living reality of as above, so below. Your daily habits also play a significant role in consciously aligning yourself with universal harmony and fostering inner peace. Small, consciously chosen actions and consistent practices can create profound shifts in your overall well-being over time. For example, consciously starting your day with a heartfelt expression of gratitude consciously sets a positive tone for the day ahead, actively aligning your mindset with abundance, possibility, and an attitude of receptive openness. Similarly, consciously practicing self-discipline in specific areas like mindful diet, regular exercise, and effective time management creates an internal sense of order and control that directly reflects outward into your relationships, your work, and your overall sense of well-being. These carefully cultivated habits may seem mundane or insignificant individually, but they are in truth powerful tools for consciously creating greater harmony, balance, and peace between your internal and external worlds. Another vital aspect of consciously aligning with universal harmony is consciously recognizing, honoring, and harnessing the inherent power of intention. Every conscious action you take, no matter how seemingly small or insignificant, carries an energetic signature that subtly ripples outward, influencing the larger world around you. When your conscious actions are intentionally aligned with positive intentions and genuine values, they actively amplify the overall harmony and well-being around you. For instance, consciously offering genuine kindness and compassionate support to someone in need not only actively uplifts them, but also spontaneously creates a ripple effect that positively impacts others with whom they will interact in the future. This is the true essence of as above, so below in action. Your intentional internal state, consciously reflected in your daily behaviors, dynamically influences the broader world in tangible ways. Finally, consciously aligning with universal harmony also requires a profound sense of trust in the underlying processes of life. The Hermetic principle reminds us that the universe operates according to laws that are often far grander and more complex than our limited human minds can fully comprehend. When significant challenges and perceived setbacks inevitably arise, it can be tempting to resist the unfolding of events, to exert forceful control over outcomes, or to cling rigidly to preconceived expectations. However, true and lasting harmony often requires a conscious surrender of control and a graceful acceptance of the present moment. Consciously trusting that the universe is ultimately working in your favor even when the precise path forward is unclear, allows you to move through life with greater ease, resilience, and grace. This conscious trust doesn't imply passive inaction or resignation. Rather, it means consciously aligning your efforts and actions with a profound faith in the inherent wisdom and intelligent processes of the cosmos. When you consciously align your life with the potent principle of as above, so below, you gradually begin to experience a more profound and deeply satisfying sense of flow, effortless synchronicity, and harmonious well-being. Your internal world transforms into a source of sustained clarity, unshakable peace, and abiding joy, and your external reality spontaneously begins to reflect this newly cultivated inner harmony, creating a more fulfilling and expansive life experience. You increasingly find yourself moving through life with greater purpose, ease, and inner confidence, no longer stubbornly fighting against the current of life, but rather working in conscious collaboration with it. This conscious alignment is not a static state that you can simply achieve once and for all. It's an ongoing practice, a conscious commitment to living in active attunement with the natural rhythms and intelligent patterns of the universe. When you consciously embrace the universal principle of as above, so below, the transformative impact is not limited solely to your personal life. It inevitably ripples outward, powerfully influencing your family relationships, your immediate community, and even the larger world beyond. The timeless Hermetic teachings remind us that individual transformation has profound and far-reaching collective implications. When you intentionally shift your own internal world toward greater clarity, compassion, and inner peace, you actively contribute to the overall transformation of the larger whole, fostering a more harmonious world for all. This is the remarkable power of genuine interconnectedness in conscious action. Every great transformative movement in human history began with dedicated individuals who consciously changed themselves first from the inside out. Consider inspiring figures such as Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King Jr., whose profound inner convictions and unwavering values became the solid foundation for widespread global change. Their lives eloquently reflected the empowering truth of as above, so below. They consciously aligned their personal values and internal beliefs with their external actions in the world, and in doing so, they brilliantly inspired countless others to follow suit and embark on their own personal journeys of transformation. The Hermetic principle clearly illustrates that just as the macrocosm reliably reflects the microcosm, the profound transformation of a single conscious individual can inevitably lead to the widespread awakening and upliftment of many. You may wonder how relatively small personal changes could possibly have a meaningful impact on something as vast and complex as the collective well-being of the world, but consider this. Every living system, from a local community to a vast and intricate ecosystem, is dynamically composed of a network of intricately interconnected parts. When one specific part of the larger system undergoes a significant positive change, it inevitably affects the entirety of the system in subtle yet measurable ways. For example, when you consciously cultivate inner peace, that internal state naturally influences how you interact and communicate with others in your daily life. Your newfound calmness may consciously de-escalate a potentially tense situation, inspire someone to approach their own personal struggles with greater wisdom and resilience, or even simply create a subtle ripple effect that spreads increased positivity further than you may even be aware. This is not simply wishful thinking. Rather, it's a direct manifestation of how fundamentally interconnected systems operate, whether at a local societal scale or at a vast cosmic scale. The natural world provides countless tangible examples of this dynamic collective harmony and conscious action. Within thriving ecosystems, a dynamic state of balance is consistently achieved not through ruthless dominance or hierarchical control, but rather through persistent cooperation, synergistic collaboration, and mutual interdependence. Bees conscientiously pollinate flowers, actively ensuring the survival of countless plant species, while the plants in turn generously provide the vital nectar and pollen that bees critically need to thrive and reproduce. Similarly, in thriving and resilient human communities, active cooperation, genuine empathy, and compassionate support create the necessary conditions where everyone can flourish, contribute their unique gifts, and thrive together in supportive interdependence. The Hermetic principle profoundly teaches that when we consciously align ourselves with this inherent natural order, we actively contribute to the overall well-being of the entire world, fostering a more equitable and sustainable future for all. On a practical level, this conscious alignment often means actively recognizing that your personal growth and self-cultivation are not merely for your own private benefit, but that you are consciously contributing to a larger collective movement. When you consciously focus on increasing self-awareness, cultivating greater emotional intelligence, and intentionally aligning your actions with your highest values, you inevitably become a beacon of light and hope for others. People are naturally drawn to authenticity, and your conscious example can gently inspire them to consciously embark on their own unique journeys of transformation. This doesn't imply that you need to actively preach your beliefs or force your values on anyone. Rather, simply and authentically living in conscious alignment with the powerful principle of as above, so below is more than enough to quietly spark positive change in the lives of others. One of the most profound and effective ways to consciously embody this empowering principle is through consistent acts of selfless service to others. When you consciously contribute to something larger than yourself, dedicating your time, energy, and resources to a worthy cause, you actively align your personal energetic signature with the greater collective good. This amplifies the power of the principle in a tangible and measurable way, powerfully demonstrating how internal conscious alignment creates external harmony and positive impact. Fortunately, modern technology has also made it easier than ever before to consciously share and spread these potentially transformative ideas. Social media platforms, engaging podcasts, and supportive online communities allow you to easily connect with like-minded individuals from around the globe and share insightful ideas that consciously resonate with others. When you consciously talk openly about your own personal experiences with the Hermetic principle or thoughtfully demonstrate how it has personally transformed your life, you actively plant seeds of curiosity and inspiration in the minds and hearts of others. Some may dismiss your ideas at first, while others will consciously feel that familiar spark of recognition and consciously embark on their own journey of conscious exploration. These seemingly small and individual actions collectively build significant momentum for widespread positive change and collective transformation. However, the potential for positive ripple effects doesn't stop at the level of individual transformation or community impact. It consciously extends to addressing the urgent global challenges we face as a global society. Many of the deeply rooted crises that humanity currently faces, from widespread environmental destruction to persistent social inequality, ultimately stem from a deeper disconnection between spirit and matter, between the inner and outer worlds. The timeless teachings of Hermetics emphasize that when we consciously realign ourselves with universal harmony, we inevitably address these pervasive issues at their root cause. For example, intentionally shifting from a scarcity-based mindset to one of abundance, gratitude, and generosity can powerfully inspire more sustainable and equitable practices that directly benefit both people and the planet. Likewise, consciously fostering enhanced empathy, compassionate understanding, and active collaboration can bridge divisive divides and create a solid foundation for lasting peace, reconciliation, and shared prosperity. The collective power of true transformation ultimately lies in the conscious realization that we are not fundamentally isolated individuals, but rather an integral part of a much larger, profoundly interconnected whole. When you consciously live in alignment with the universal principle of as above, so below, you are inevitably contributing to a powerful movement of conscious awakening and transformative action that consciously transcends artificial borders, cultural differences, and divisive ideologies. This is how true and lasting revolutions typically begin, not with grand theatrical gestures or violent upheavals, but with small intentional changes that consciously ripple outward into the collective consciousness. Imagine for a moment a world where millions or even billions of people are consciously living by these potent principles, intentionally aligning their inner worlds with the inherent harmony of the universe and intentionally reflecting that harmony in their daily thoughts, words, and actions. This isn't some unrealistic utopian fantasy. Rather, it's a practical vision that is firmly grounded in the very same fundamental laws that dynamically govern all of existence. The Hermetic principle vividly illustrates that widespread transformation is inevitable and unstoppable when enough conscious individuals actively commit to living more authentically, compassionately, and harmoniously. It all consciously begins with you, but it certainly doesn't stop there. Every single time you intentionally align your thoughts, your heartfelt emotions, and your purposeful actions with the greater good, you are consciously contributing to a collective awakening that reverberates throughout the entire world. The conscious changes you make within yourself, no matter how subtle or seemingly insignificant, inevitably create potent ripples that spread far beyond anything you can currently imagine. This is the intrinsic power of true and genuine interconnectedness, a constant reminder that no individual action is ever too small, and no individual is ever too insignificant to contribute meaningfully to a better world. By intentionally living the empowering truth of as above, so below, you actively become a potent force of positive transformation in a world that desperately needs your unique gifts and contributions. The true and transformative meaning of as above, so below extends far beyond a simple ancient saying to be pondered academically. It is a powerful blueprint for intentionally living in conscious harmony with the entirety of the universe. This timeless Hermetic principle consciously reveals that everything is deeply and inextricably connected, from the vast and intricate expanse of the known cosmos to the smallest, seemingly insignificant details of your daily life. It powerfully teaches that your rich inner world, encompassing your conscious thoughts, heartfelt emotions, and deeply held beliefs, actively shapes the reality that you personally experience, and that by intentionally aligning yourself with the fundamental laws of the universe, you can consciously create profound and lasting positive change, both within yourself and in the world around you. Consciously think about what this powerful principle consciously offers you. The tangible power to actively transform your life, not through forceful exertion, external control, or manipulation of others, but rather by consciously taking ownership of your own internal state and actively shaping it to align with your highest aspirations. The frustrating challenges and perceived limitations you inevitably experience along your life's journey are not arbitrary signs of personal failure or insurmountable obstacles to be feared. Rather, they are invaluable and often illuminating reflections of specific areas within yourself, where greater conscious alignment, harmony, and healing may be needed. When you consciously begin to shift your internal reality, intentionally letting go of long-held limiting beliefs, actively embracing the daily practice of gratitude, and intentionally aligning your actions with your deeply felt values, you consciously set in motion a powerful transformative process that will inevitably ripple outward into every corner of your life, creating positive change in ways you cannot yet imagine. The critical key is understanding that this conscious transformation is not a one-time event or a fleeting accomplishment. Rather, it's a sustained and intentional, so there you have it, the real meaning of as above, so below. It's more than just a saying. It's a call to action, an invitation to understand the profound connection between your inner world and the world around you, and to consciously shape your reality by embracing that connection. It's about understanding that you have the power to create a life of harmony and purpose, starting from within. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this? Has as above, so below resonated with you in a particular way? Do you have any questions or experiences you'd like to share? Leave a comment below and let's start a conversation. And if you found this exploration helpful and want to delve deeper into these kinds of ideas, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. We'll continue to explore powerful concepts and offer practical tools to help you unlock your potential and live a more fulfilling life. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep creating.